They say time heals everything. But what if time itself becomes your greatest teacher? In a world where everyone keeps saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," one man learned the hardest truth, that tomorrow doesn't always come. This is the story of Rehan, a young dreamer who had everything, but lost the one thing he thought would last forever: time. Sometimes it only takes one moment, one loss, to make you realize how precious every second truly is.
In a small town surrounded by mountains and mist, there lived a young man named Rehan. He was smart, kind, and full of dreams, but he had one problem. He always believed there's still time. When his father told him to help at the shop, he'd say, "Later, Abba." When his teacher reminded him about exams, he'd say, "Tomorrow, sir." When his friend invited him to join a business idea, he said, "Someday, when I'm ready." Days turned into months, and months into years. Rehan's friends built their careers. Some started families. Some traveled the world. But Rehan was still standing where he had started. He wasn't lazy, just lost in the illusion that he had plenty of time.
One morning, Rehan's father fell seriously ill. Doctors said he needed surgery, but it had to be done quickly. Rehan ran everywhere trying to arrange the money, but it was too late. By the time he returned with help, his father was gone. That day, standing beside his father's grave, Rehan realized something that pierced his heart. Time never waits.
A few weeks later, as he cleaned his father's old belongings, he found a dusty wooden clock. It wasn't working anymore, but there was a small note taped behind it. It said, "Son, time is the most honest teacher. It gives lessons first and exams later. Use it well before it teaches you the hard way." Rehan stared at those words for a long time. He fixed the clock and hung it above his study table. Every tick felt like a heartbeat. Every second like a whisper saying, "Don't waste me."
That day, Rehan decided to change. He made a small rule for himself. If something takes less than 5 minutes, do it now. If a dream scares you, start today. He began waking up early, reading, working, planning his goals. Each day he gave his best, no matter how small the progress was. Months passed. He learned new skills, started a small online business, and slowly success followed. He was no longer chasing time, he was walking with it. One evening, a friend visited him after many years. He looked around Rehan's office, awards, certificates, a team of workers. Smiling, he asked, "Rehan, how did all this happen? You were always the guy who said tomorrow." Rehan smiled softly and pointed to the clock on his wall. It was still ticking, steady and calm. He said, "This clock doesn't move fast, but it never stops. I learned to live like it, slowly, but never stopping." Years went by. Rehan became a mentor to young dreamers in his town. One of his students once asked, "Sir, what's the secret to success?" Rehan replied gently, "Your secret is in your seconds. How you spend your hours decides your life. Don't wait for the right time. Make the time you have right." In his old age, Rehan still kept that same wooden clock beside his desk. Its tick was softer now, but it still reminded him of that one truth that changed his life. You can earn back money, you can rebuild dreams, but you can never earn back time.
Time is the only currency that decreases every moment you live. Every later steals a chance you might never get again. So start now. Don't wait for perfect conditions, because every second you delay, a part of your life silently slips away. Respect time, and time will reward you.